Hello everybody and welcome back to a new Pokemon news, some weekly news here at the Game House. I'm Rob and I'm going to be talking to you guys about all the new things that are happening in Pokemon this week. As we did last week, we're going to be looking at some of the Terra League things that are coming out. We're going to be looking at some of the Anniversary things, and we're going to be taking a deeper dive into Pokemon Unite and some of the new Pokemon that could be coming out for that game as well. So if all that sounds interesting, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as we're putting out Pokemon content almost on a daily basis. We have different tier lists, let's plays, just news like this. So if you guys like that kind of content, if you like Pokemon content, you want to be in the loop on everything that's going on, make sure that you are part of the Game House family. Also, make sure to let me know in the comments section below which Pokemon and Pokemon Unite, we're going to talk about a few of them, but which one you are most excited about. There are going to be 4 different choices, not to spoil too much here, but we're going to go through all those in a little bit. But let me know which one you are most excited about once we get to that. Let's hop into it. The very beginning portion of this is that on the day of recording, which is November 21st, this is a big day in Pokemon history. We have 2 anniversaries to celebrate. We have the 25th anniversary of Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver, which is absolutely wild to me. I cannot believe that this is been 25 years of arguably the greatest game in the series, just because of the ability to go to the Johto and the Kanto regions. The remakes, obviously, something that's very popular to a lot of people as well. I will admit, when I first saw this morning, it said, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary with Pokemon, Gold Legends Ho-Oh and Silver Legends Lugia, and I genuinely thought that this was a new game. So a little bit bummed out by this, but if you like the plushies, these are really cool versions of Ho-Oh and Lugia. Definitely something that you should be taking a look at. The next thing that came in the news today is that 22 years ago, we got Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. If you don't believe me when I've talked about this in the past on a lot of other videos, Pokemon is very regimented. They are very much people who are on schedule. So when they are going off schedule, that means that there's big things happening, or potentially even bad things that are happening. Not getting the video that we should have gotten for the Pokemon Presents sometime over the last few months has been a big deal. And if for some reason, if they just don't reveal or release anything for Pokemon Day in February, then we're going to know there's really something going on. But 22 years ago, we were introduced to Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Obviously, not too long ago compared to this. We got Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well. 2 great games, right? That really set the stage for a lot of things. Emerald, I'm doing a playthrough right now of Pokemon Emerald Sea Glass, which you can check out over at thegamehouse.com, or at the Game House YouTube channel, sorry, more accurately. But these games are beloved as well. The first 3 generations, well, really all of them, I think, have a big fan base in different areas. But 22 years ago, we got Ruby and Sapphire, and then 3 years before that, we got Gold and Silver. So really, when Pokemon was in its prime, hitting that stride of every 3 years, things have definitely changed over the last few years, but it's not all been bad. We also had a quick update for those of you who are doing different shiny raids. Shiny Rayquaza is going to be in the game starting December 20th, right before the holiday season, and going through January 5th. That's a little over 2 weeks. And there's a lot of different Pokemon that you can get, but the big one's obviously going to be that shiny Rayquaza, the black Rayquaza, things that people, or a Pokemon that people really, really love. Not just because Rayquaza is a cool Pokemon, Gen 3, as we just talked about, but because the shiny version of it, the black version of it, is absolutely incredible, a favorite by so many people, and you'll be able to grab it in Scarlet and Violet. It feels like they're giving this to us to maybe hold us over for a little bit, considering there just hasn't been much news, but there's also a couple other things you can check out over on the Pokemon, main Twitter. I just found this one on the UK one, so if that's if you're still doing these 5-star raids, this is going to be the next one coming out in December. Now we're going to head into some leaks. Okay, for Pokemon Unite specifically, there have been 2 new Pokemon that have been confirmed with their roles and everything. Tinkaton and Rapidash. Galarian Rapidash. Sorry, wow. Brain farted there for a second, to be specific. Both of them are all-rounders, which is interesting. And Rapidash is going to be the first all-rounder, I think this is what I've been seeing, that is a special attacker. I can't say for certain that that's the case. I've seen that over on Reddit. I played the game intermittently over the last few years since it came out. I really do enjoy it, and there's a real possibility that Tinkaton is going to get me back into it because of all the new Pokemon that were added in Scarlet and Violet, I think Tinkaton is probably one of my favorites. I just love the idea of this little pink goon running around with a hammer, right? Like, can't get upset about that. But these Pokemon will be coming into the game. El Chico Eevee over on their YouTube channel as well has done a breakdown of their abilities that are going to be getting added to the game. So, you know, if you're still playing that game and you're looking for, you know, some new all-round Pokemon, both of them, by the way, are going to be, I believe, melee or at least close-ish range when it comes to Galarian Rapidash. So keep that in mind as well. And we did get officially, I don't know if this is from like Pokemon Unite, if they put this out yet, but this is where I saw it was on, you know, El Chico Eevee's Twitter page, is that December 12th is when Tinkaton's going to be jumping into the battle. So that means that most likely with the way that they've been doing things, we'll be getting Galarian Rapidash sometime in January, probably near the beginning of January. They've been, again, pretty consistent about releasing a new Pokemon basically every month. So, yeah, that's really about it on those. But there are 2 more Pokemon that were leaked as well, Alcremie and Empoleon. Now, they state here, El Chico Eevee states here that, you know, it's unknown, but it might be teased a couple times like Phantump was, and then it'll be the plushie on the tournament stream, which we're going to be getting, you know, the big tournament upcoming for Pokemon Unite. So there's a chance that we will be getting a little bit of a, I don't know, a look at this Pokemon, or at least a bit of a teaser for us as Pokemon fans, and I'm pretty excited about it. Alcremie is, I think, a very underrated Pokemon, the many different forms that it has, and it'll be interesting considering it doesn't have an evolution, how that's going to work in this game. Is it going to be, you know, obviously strong throughout? Like, you know, the evolution portion is what gives a lot of these Pokemon, you know, that extra power boost as you get later into the game, whereas a lot of the single stage evolution Pokemon are stronger early, maybe stronger mid-game, but, you know, fall off a little bit near the end. So we'll have to be watching for that. The other one is Empoleon, and I theorized this a few weeks ago when I wrote an article about this leak. And the reason why I bring it up now is because we're, you know, finally getting more information on Rapidash and Tinkaton. But the most interesting part about Empoleon is when it could be coming out, right? So we already talked about this. Tinkaton in December, Galarian Rapidash likely in January. If this kind of leak continues to be true, Alcremie would be coming out in February, and then in March we'd be getting Empoleon. What's really intriguing to me is the timing, in the sense that this will be right after Pokemon Day. There's a very good chance that we are going to get Pokemon Legends ZA news during that time period, and a lot of people believe that Empoleon, Piplup specifically, is going to be in this game as one of the 3 starters. Empoleon just fits perfectly right with the Napoleon and, well, mostly with the Napoleon connection, and considering we're going back to Kalos, that's, you know, based off of Paris, France, right? So there's a lot of skepticism, there's a lot of intrigue by not just me, but other people about this opportunity for them to add Empoleon and kind of push it together with Pokemon Legends ZA, which I have to think is going to be coming out sometime in the early portion of next year, just because of the fact that we haven't had a Pokemon game in so long at this point, like a mainline or like a big game, you know, realistically, since I think we got DLC at the end of 2023 for Scarlet and Violet, and that's really about it at this point. We got, you know, TCG Pocket, but nothing really else. So we will be keeping a lookout for that one. This news with Empoleon, like, Pokemon always tries to, again, they're very regimented. They tried to do their leaks or not their leaks, excuse me. They hate leaks. They tried to do their releases, in conjunction with each other. When the new ZA game comes out, there will be, probably something going along with Pokemon TCG Pocket. There will be something going on with Pokemon Go. There will be something going on with Pokemon Unite. All their franchises kind of come together and release things at the same time to really increase the hype, not just around the game that's getting released, but around the games that are also already out for the franchise. So I'm not saying that this confirms anything whatsoever about a Pokemon Legends ZA release of any kind or a release date. They still even may be building it up over those 3 months where we get Empoleon and then we get the other 2 starters in April and May. Then the game comes out in May or June. That wouldn't surprise me either. But I think this Empoleon one that's been apparently teased by, Pokemon Unite, even on the Chinese live streams, I think that whenever Empoleon comes out, that's going to be, I think, our starting point for when we're going to learn a lot more about Legends ZA, should Empoleon actually be coming. If not, it's just going to be a complete red herring and I'm completely off track. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And like I said, let me know which of these 4 Pokemon you'd be most excited for getting released. Now we're going to dive into the Terra leaks a little bit more. I've been trying to stay away from some of these, but a lot of these are really interesting. And I had heard a little bit about this one, but it looks like we have a little bit more information about what could have been in a gym leader building feature meant for Pokemon Sun and Moon, which, if you remember, you don't have the typical, trainers and everything, or gyms and everything. You have the trials in those games, and this is what we found out. This was a post-game story event intended for hardcore players, occurs immediately after the player becomes the first Alola League champion, to coincide with the introduction of the Pokemon League in Alola. 8 Pokemon gyms will now be built. Now, I will tell you, when these games were coming out, I remembered a lot of rumors, a lot of talk about this being the case, about how they weren't going to have gym leaders right away and that they would add them later. I wonder if Pokemon took them out just because so many people anticipated it that maybe they were worried they couldn't live up to the hype, but I did want to put that in there. Tasked by a certain professor client as champion, you are asked to appoint characters to serve as your gym leaders. Oh, this would have been awesome. The way Alola appoints its champion is unique. In previous titles, it was implied or foreshadowed that champions were appointed the position or inherited it. The quest worked as follows. A gym advisor would be put at the entrance of every gym. By interacting with the gym advisor, you will be given suggestions on what type of gym they want it to be. You can scout any character from the available list to become gym leaders and even give them gym badges. After completing the quest, you can battle all 8 gym leaders. If you earn all 8 gym badges, a special event will happen with the professor. Also, via gym inspections, you can interact with the feature even more. Once a day, the gym leader can be battled via inspections. On the first visit, you can receive a gym badge. On the second visit, you can receive a competitive ready version of their ace Pokemon. And then on the third one, you get fresh water, which, whatever. I guess they just kind of ran out of ideas. I'm sure they would have done something better. But nearly every major character was scoutable as a gym leader. However, Kiawe, Mallow, and Acerola, I can't remember how to say their name, Acerola, specifically are not allowed to become scoutable. So, for the most part, everybody was available to be a gym leader. And this idea is absolutely bonkers. It's incredible. I needed you guys to hear about this because I really hope that at some point we are going to have something like this in a Pokemon game. I think that this would have been incredible. It would have taken Sun and Moon from being one of my least favorite of all the Pokemon games to probably my favorite or very close to it. I'm really disappointed that they did not add this in the game. I'm shocked that they decided to take this away. Maybe it was just because there was not enough time to make it. I could totally see that being the case, but man, they missed out on a huge opportunity by not making this a real thing. And I hope that in the future that they will, because I think a lot of people would really love the ability to do this. Now we got one more here, and maybe this is part of what would have been happening for this gym, is that Per internal documents, Pokemon Sun and Moon was intended to be the first pair of Pokemon games with DLC in order to take advantage of it being the 20th anniversary title, which is why I've been saying I think the 30th anniversary titles, which are going to be Gen 10, are going to be massive, I think, for this game. There were 200 side quests that were planned to be added through it, and it was apparently supposed to be like much more open world. People were going to be able to kind of find things on their own, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I really think that like Pokemon Sun and Moon, all these ideas that were available for Sun and Moon, right? We also had, I don't know if it was on this one or I just did an Evolution video about some of the leaks that came out for a flying type Evolution, which is wild, that was meant for Sun and Moon. Like, these games had the opportunity to truly change Pokemon forever, and people already love Sun and Moon for a multitude of different reasons. Had they added this DLC, had they added the gym leaders, had they added Evolutions, there is no doubt in my mind that Sun and Moon would have been the best games they'd ever made, and it wouldn't have even been close. Well, I shouldn't say that again. I'm a big Heart Gold and Soul Silver fan, but this definitely would have been pushing, if not had pushed it over the top for me personally. So I really hope that they take a lot of these ideas and they add them in for Generation 10. With the amount of time that they're taking and the amount of secrecy that they are taking, they're really lucky that this Terra Leaker decided that they were not going to release anything about Legends ZA or anything about Gen 10, because apparently there was a lot of information. So, like, everybody who's supposed to know about Pokemon and this leaker, and maybe a few of their friends or something like that, they're the only people in the entire world who know what we're going to be getting potentially for Legends ZA and for Generation 10. But Pokemon, I think, is too scared at times to take chances. And when I see these types of leaks, I really wish that they would have taken them. So I'm a little disappointed, because I really would have loved to have seen these. But, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully this will give them ideas for things in the future that will allow us to have even better games. So I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these leaks. I think there's a lot of interesting things that have come from them. This is the biggest news that we have gotten, you know, so far this week. If you think I missed anything and would like for me to talk about it next time, please let me know in the comment section below. But otherwise, also, you know, please like and subscribe. Again, we got new Pokemon content coming out on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. We have news and tier lists coming out on Saturday. So, yeah, I really hope that you guys will make sure to give us a look. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us on this Pokemon news, weekly news video. With that, guys, I will catch you on the next one.